Good evening. In this session, we'll have a look at how the arithmetic mean is calculated by seeing its calculation in different types of series. In my previous video, I had spoken about the types of averages and series, and in types of averages, we had a look that it was classified into mathematical average and in positional average. Under mathematical average, again you have arithmetic mean, harmonic mean and geometric mean. So taking up the calculation of arithmetic mean in this particular video, we'll have a look at how it is done. Since I spoke of that we are going to talk about arithmetic mean, which is a mathematical average. Since it is a mathematical average, so therefore when it comes to the calculation of this mathematical average under individual series, we will get to see that the data first of all is put in a single column. That is, no matter the value may be repeating itself many number of times, but then also we are not going to put that frequency here next to it. We are simply going to write that repeated value again. In my case, which I have taken up in this particular caselet, there is no value which is repeating itself. But let's say if there was a repetition of the monthly income that is being earned by the employees who are working in a beauty parlor, let's say 1780, one more person was getting 1780, we would have put this 1780 once again. So in individual, no matter that value is repeating n number of times, if let's say 5 people were getting 1780, we would have put this 1780 5 number of times. So again, we are going to talk or deal with the arithmetic mean calculation in an individual series. And here in this particular case, we are going to find out what is the monthly income of the employees who are working in a parlor. You get to have a look at that the income is getting expressed in rupees, though the values are not very high. It is only simply a case taken up to put my point across. In individual series, the values of the variable have been listed down. What is a variable here? The variable is monthly income here. Income is the variable. Since income keeps on changing, the person who's receiving an income will not continue to receive that income throughout his lifetime. So since income keeps on changing, therefore it is called as a variable. Now to calculate the mean from it, we use the formula which is x bar is nothing else but the average is equal to sum total of x divided by n. Sum total of x here is you add up all the values which are there right from the top to the bottom, and here 10 employees are there who are working. We add up the income being received by all these 10 employees, and this gives us a sum total of 16,650. So this is the value that we have with ourselves, 16,650. We divide it by the number of items or observation. So you have 10 employees here, so the number of items or observation becomes 10. So this 16,650 when divided by 10, it gives us 1,665. Now remember, since we are talking about the income, certainly the income has to have some unit of measurement. And the unit of measurement here is rupees. So once you have got the average, you will express that average in that particular unit. So therefore we put it as rupees 1,665. Moving ahead, let's now have a look at the way arithmetic mean gets calculated in a discrete series. Now in a discrete series, we know that there is going to be two columns. One column is going to be of the values of the variable that we are dealing with, and the second column is going to be of the frequency. Frequency is nothing else but the number of times that particular value is repeating itself. So you find that here It is 8 people who are getting an income of, let's say, 20 rupees. Now, again, I kind of put myself that we are taking a case to understand the concept. So you may not find the values to be very higher, keeping it straight and simple for us to understand. 12 people getting an income of, let's say, 30. 20 people getting an income of, let's say, 40. So this way we are trying to understand that how the monthly income is going to be calculated for the 60 families. We have to find out the average. To find out the average, since there are two columns here, one is the values of the variable and second is the number of times the value is repeating itself of that particular variable. We have two columns, one of the x and the other one of f. Now, if mean has to be calculated for it, what we are going to do is we will be forming a fx column. This fx column has to be formed just because that is the requirement of the formula. The formula will not be the same as the way we used in the individual series. The formula will differ now. Here x bar, that is your average, is equal to sum total of the product of fx divided by sum total of the frequency. Now, for those who find it difficult to remember, simply pay attention that f and x is together. Since f and x is together, how do you bring together two things? You simply take a product of the two. So what you end up doing is you multiply the x values with their respective frequencies. So each x value will be getting multiplied with their respective frequency. When I say respective, respective means which is representing that particular value. 12 people getting an income of 30. So 30 into 12. So corresponding to that particular value, whatever the frequency is, you will be taking a product of it. Since once the product has been taken, what you end up doing is now you will take a sum total of the product. So we end up multiplying the corresponding frequencies with their values, and once you have taken a product of it, you simply take a sum total. The sum total in this case comes out to be 2460. Now this sum total of the product of the sum of f and x, you will divide it by sum total of the frequency. So sum total of the product of the respective values getting multiplied with their frequencies, you will be getting a sum total and you divide it by the number of families, and this gives you an average of 41. Now, if I just kind of take you back to what is an average, this average is nothing else but a single value which has a tendency to lie somewhere in the middle. So average coming for this group of data comes out to be 41. Now if you will have a look at 41, 41 is somewhere near to between 40 and 50 but closer to 40 because 41 is next to 40 now. Neither it is representing the smallest value, that is 20, nor the highest value, which is 70. So 41 is lying somewhere in the center, and since the data has a tendency to lie or to center in the middle, that's why you call average as measure of central tendency.